But yeah, like Isaac destroyed my grill dreams. That's okay. He'll get his one day. There will be a comeuppance. There'll be a day of days. Mark these words. And if you're out there listening,
Look straight.
like, mark these words. Like, didn't have nothing to say about my work. It's like, mark these words.
So you're the inaugural Capital Artist Resident. What's your focus while you're here?
Basically, I'm happy to be here. My focus is continuing my narrative that I've been making for the past 2 decades about colonialism. But my focus, let's get the focus of what I'm doing now is I'm talking about this region in the late 18th century and the colonization of food and how certain food items, that we eat today are the direct result of brutal colonial practices. Go-to drunk food. I would have to say if I was at home and I was moderately drunk, it would be grits and eggs with lots of butter and salt. Because some people don't like salt in their grits. Sugar is the preferred topping choice. But I find those people anyway. But if it's not that, I would say pizza.
What about wings?
Wings, I love wings, but one time I was eating a wing and I was on my back and I was really drunk and I almost choked. So ever since then, I kind of gave up on the wings as a drunk food because then you got to be able to chew. You don't necessarily have to chew pizza. Well, you have to chew it, but it's not. You can masticate it with relative ease, and it also depends on how tender the wing is. If you get some real tough wings, it also, like, there's this place in Chicago called Harold's Fried Chicken, which is super tender, but they literally fry the chicken in beef fat. Or beef tallow, as they say, to make it sound nicer.
All right, what's your elevator pitch to young artists just getting started? 30 seconds, go.
Okay, elevator pitch. You don't have to go to all the parties. Do the work. Don't work in your studio. Come up with something original. Stop aping everything else. But if you need to exercise those demons, ape whatever you can, as long as it pushes you into the next realm. And just be yourself, 100%. Boom. How was that?
Amazing. I don't know if that was 30 seconds. I was not counting.
I don't know. It's like 30 seconds can go by really fast, I think.
All right. So while you've been working, so your family is here. They came with you from LA.
They are.
What have they been up to while you're in the studio?
Well, they've been going to eating a lot of food, swimming in the apartment building, having fun. They've also been taking advantage of the wealth of American history that's located here. It's almost like it's a 6th grade social studies class, like a walking history lesson. So I think they've been doing stuff like that. And going, my daughter's been like doing vintage shopping and record shopping. My wife's gone to a couple of farmers markets and she's just been enjoying the parks and the really nice parks in the city. And so they've been having a really great time.
So a few questions about your art process.
Okay.
So define your work in 3 words.
3 words. Brutal, necessary, informative.
All right, what's your favorite piece that you've ever made?
Most Young Kings, The Death of Andre the First.
Okay, what's your least favorite?
Wow. Oh man, there's a lot of them. What is my least favorite work? I'm trying to think about that. That's a hard one. My least favorite work. It's probably something that I threw away. And I rarely throw away. Oh, well, there was there was this portrait, earlier portrait of Lord Darlington that I really didn't like because he kind of, I'm self-taught, so I had all these issues with proportion at first. So like he had like a big body and a little tiny head. So it's just stuff like that. But usually by the time I get around to actually working, I pretty much like it all. Like there's not many things that I dislike, but it's more the idea of a thing that I dislike more so than anything that I've actually made. Because if I made it, I stand by it. And when I stand by it, it becomes tons of things. Okay. Okay.
So, what do you want people to feel after walking away from your artwork or viewing your artwork?
I just want people to have. That's a great question. I want people to have a renewed sense of imagination. I want people to know that nothing is really etched in stone. Like life is a story that is continuously written. There's no end to education, no limits to imagination. And I stress imagination the most because I think that's what a lot of us lack is imagination. Because imagination, while I do take this from directly, I don't really change history so much. Is more of as I rearrange it. I remix history. I don't change it. Like the songs are already there, so I'm just adding a few things here and there. The changing names to protect the guilty. So I want people to take away, a newfound love for history. You see, like history is a living thing instead of this archaic thing that it's just like, oh, it's so boring, but it can be really exciting. Just change the couple of poses, the dynamic of it. I really want people to look at the historical records so they feel reluctant to repeat it.
All right. So we're here in your studio. So what are 3 essential things that you always need with you in your studio?
Well, number 1 is solitude. I prefer to work alone because I'm a bit of a chatterbox. So if there are people around, I'll literally talk myself out of working. And also hydration, waters and things, and teas, and sometimes coffee when I need just that little special pick me up. And I would say the last thing that I need is fortitude, if that's a physical thing.
What is your favorite battle?
My favorite battle, well, there's 3. There is the Battle of Vertier, which was in Haiti, where they rounded up. It was a major battle where they defeated the French forces. There's Dien Bien Phu in Vietnam, where they surrounded the whole French army. Vo Vinh Giap surrounded the whole French army from the top and pointing and forced them to surrender. And there's a toss-up between Salamis, between the Greek and Greco-Iranian, Greco-Persian wars, and the Battle of Ain Jalut, where the Mamluks stopped the Mongols from taking over Egypt. So there's quite a few battles. Oh, but no. I guess, okay, so that's like top 3 under, but I think, can't even pronounce it, Isandlwana, where the Zulus defeated the British during the first Zulu War, and it destroyed British morale, but then it quickly rallied. Then it was to take over South Africa, but it was really impressive in terms of people operating with mechanized guns against people with spears and determination. So it kind of, that whole triumph of the human spirit over, facing great odds always thrills me.
So growing up in Chicago, what was your favorite part other than these delicious wings that you're just mentioning?
Chicago, the people, the architecture, just the art scene. Chicago is just like, just probably is a creative mecca that doesn't, I think gets the attention that it deserves in the whole, New York, LA, wherever else. I mean, I also feel the same way about DC. I think DC is a really interesting hub of culture that probably doesn't get its due. But I wouldn't know because I haven't talked to that many people on the street and seen how disgruntled they are. I'm just making some assumptions.
I think we're pretty happy people here. Is there anything, so is that the thing that surprised you the most about DC? What's the one thing that surprised you the most coming here?
The thing that there's such an international, there's a very, being that it is the capital of the United States, I think, just the international flavor of the city, like there's people from everywhere. You can strike a conversation with anybody from anywhere all around the world. And the architecture too is amazing. The classical architecture, the kind of colonial architecture, everything being brick, especially coming from Los Angeles where I am now, where everything is mostly Spanish mission or craftsmen, and everything kind of looks the same and it's not very insulated. It just makes this place seems a lot sturdier. And the people, I thought they would be a little snob. Well, I mean, I guess there are some snobs here, but for the most part, I think everybody's pretty cool. Like people smile when you walk down the street, which is, you don't know if they're smiling, you think you're gonna take their purse, or they're smiling because they're genuinely happy. But a smile is a smile. Whatever it is. I mean, it can be really fake, but a smile is a smile. So yeah.
In a cage match between Jeff Koons and Thomas Jefferson, who wins?
Thomas Jefferson, being that he was a frontiersman and knew how to operate a musket, I think he would handle Jeff Koons like real quick.
Right.
Unless Jeff Koons like ripped out his wooden teeth or something, or broke his wooden leg. I don't know. I mean, I know Thomas Jefferson had a wooden leg, but yeah, Thomas Jefferson would get all up in there. I think he would do some serious damage.
Good. So last one. Is a Pop-Tart a ravioli?
Wow. Now, that is the weirdest question I've ever been asked. But I do believe that a Pop-Tart, it is shaped like a ravioli, yes. But a Pop-Tart is horrible. I've never liked Pop-Tarts. My kids do. I never, well, my parents never bought them for me because they were full of sugar. But the ones over at, can we shout out Tez Bulletin? Because I think they have really great Pop-Tarts. My kids like them. I will never eat them, but they look magnificent. Plus, they're very, you can eat them on the go, much like a Nutri-Grain bar or some kind of pemmican or jerky. I believe they store well on long journeys. No. It's like 2 to 3 weeks. Sorry, your head. Anyway, I forgot? I bought every color paint except for black. That's gonna be